Hey guys, Eric here, and today I'm going to be showing you just exactly how to set up your Bukkit server. Now I know this is a really popular thing, but there's a lot of steps that I see in other videos that are not included. So first off, you're going to want to make a folder. I'm going to make a folder here, and I am going to name it tutorial. So this is my tutorial Bukkit server. Pretty simple, right? Well, what you're going to do is go here to Google and search for a Bukkit server plugin. Well, not a Bukkit server plugin, a Bukkit server application file, I guess you would call it. So Bukkit 1.3.1 download, it's right there. So download Craft Bukkit. And they actually have 1.3.2, which actually I think I'm running. I'm not sure. I might just have put in 1.3.1 because that's what the plugins are under. So you're going to, I believe, click over there, yes, and keep the file. And there should be, if not, I can just copy it. Yeah, I'll just copy it. So, show in folder, there should be a, move to desktop, there should be a wiki page that asks you to create a file and name it run. And as you can see here, that's what this is. So, this will be in the description. Edit with Notepad, just real quick, so I can take this, copy, X out, and that is a run.bat file. So we're going to put the Craft Bukkit application file in here, and we're not going to start it up yet, because first we need to let Craft Bukkit know what type of Java it's going to be running, and that is what this file that you're going to create is for. So new text document, or actually no, that is not how you do it. Start Notepad. You need to open up Notepad separately and paste what is in the description and go to File, Save As, and you are not going to save it as a text document. You are actually going to save it as run.bat. So it is going to be a batch file, and you are going to double click this whenever you want to run your server and save it in this. So as you can see, it's a run.bat file. And you're going to double click that. And as you can see, it says unable to access jar file craftbukkit.jar. Well, why is that? Because this is not craftbukkit.jar. So you are going to rename this and delete everything after it until it's just Craft Bukkit. And you are going to close that out and start it up again. And it is going to create all of the servers and plugin folders and things you need for the server. So we'll just wait for that. It takes a little bit longer on the first startup because it's creating files. But you know what, in the meantime I'm going to show you what things need to download. So you're going to need to go to portforward.com, or you can go search for them. And as you can see here, I have PF port checker, and I also have static IP. So basically, if you were to, and I learned this, and luckily I did, because that's what was holding me back from creating a server. So you are going to want to go to portforward.com, or like I said, Google these application names, and download them. So once again, that's pf port checker and not pf config, but pf static. That should show up. Yeah, pf static IP. So everyone's just stop. Saves chunks, and then you can press that A key to close out the window. Yep. Okay. So what pf static IP does is it changes your IP from dynamic to static, and what most people don't understand is the difference between dynamic and static IPs, and I didn't actually, and luckily I found it in a forum page, and I was able to finally create my server with that knowledge. So with a dynamic IP address, the IP address, believe it or not, changes itself all the time. So what you want to do in order to be able to port forward it, your IP address, that is, you are going to want to make it static. And actually, pf static setter, or pf static IP, is the only application, and of course it's made by portforward.com. It's the only application I see out there that actually does this for you. I personally do not know how to do it manually without this program. So this is a must-have program, and I'm so glad you're watching my video up to this point so you can know that. So pf static IP, and you're going to run that. So basically, this is my static IP. As you can see, it says this IP is currently static. That's because I have a server, and I'm showing you this now. So this IP is static, and it used to be dynamic. So what you would do, so you would download this program and just click down here. It would say this IP is currently dynamic, and I believe it's in green. It might be in blue too. And it's going to show, you're going to select the network up here that you want to port forward, so you can have your server, or the correct network, that is. And you're going to click down here and click on make it static, and that's basically going to show you a recommended IP. Do not enter anything manually. Let it do its recommended settings, because this is very, very important when it comes to creating a server. And you do not want to mess anything up because you think, oh, I'm going to say I did it manually, woo. No, that is not wise at all. So this is what my recommended IP address, IPv4 address was. So what it says under IP address is now your new IPv4 address. So you would just X that out, minimize this, and open up your browser. And you are going to enter your default gateway address, and that can simply be found, oh sorry, that's my phone, and it's my dad, so we'll continue this. Alright guys, hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. Of course in the video it's not going to show up, but my dad called, and you know when your parents call, it's a pretty important thing, even though he just wanted to know about dinner. But, yeah, so I'm back, and as I was saying, we want to look at the gateway address, and basically all you had to do is type in run to the start menu, and cmd, okay, IP config, and you're going to take the default gateway address, and you're going to type that into your browser. And if your browser does not recognize the default username and password, which you can Google for your specific router, which it would say right here, if it does not recognize it, then just try admin, and then for the password, just enter whatever the passphrase is in order to get into your network. Whatever a person has to type in order to connect to it is what you will type for your password. So I did not know this, so I had to reset my router. and we just got a new one, so I learned this very recently. So you guys are getting to know everything that I learned from trial and error. So now you're going to go to Applications in Gaming, which should be for any router. This is just Linksys. And I'm going to go here, voice crack, to single port forwarding. And for Netgear, I understand it's port forwarding and / port range forwarding. But Linksys has them in different tabs, so I just do single port forwarding. So for the name, just type in Minecraft. External port is 25565, internal port is 25565, and these are the start and end ports. And the protocol is going to be both TCP and UDP. And to IPv4 address, remember your static IP that we just set up, and put that in here, and click enabled, of course, and save settings. Save settings, otherwise it's not going to work. So once that's done, you could just X out of your browser once it says it's saved, and go back here to your server, which actually I forgot was open, and open up your server text document. Oh wait, no, it's the wrong one. Your properties file. If you did not already open this, it'll say it doesn't recognize the file, it doesn't know how to open it, and you're just going to say, okay, select a file, or select a program to open the file with, and you can either use Notepad, or like I'm using Notepad++, which is actually free, and I just like it because it's more organized. So these are all the settings in your server, and MOTD is basically the server description, so you can change that if you want. Difficulty 0 is peaceful, difficulty 1 is easy, and so on. Server IP, you're just going to enter your IPv4 static address, save, run it, and you should be done. So type into Google, what's my IP? It's very popular. Your public IP address is 174.44.22.103. Now, in other tutorials, you see people cover it up, but I don't, because I want you guys to connect to my server. So yeah. Also, you can register with Planet Minecraft now, and create a server page like this one. Ta-da! Okay, so that's it for today, and hope this was helpful.